There is nothing more delicious and sexier than a man that says, I got you. So that natural instinct to provide and protect, bring it on. We want that. And I think that one of the most important pieces to work on around this is that men are sometimes scared of being taken advantage of. And I get it, because the wounded feminine sometimes acts entitled. So there is a wound in the masculine. But here is the thing, the beautiful work of union is recognizing that this natural instinct to provide and protect for the feminine and for your family is sacred. And a feminine embodied woman that has done the work to heal her feminine, she will value that as gold. Welcome to the Deeper Please podcast. I'm Eliza, dating and intimacy coach, Mexican medicine woman, and feminine and masculine energy expert. I personally believe that we humans get to self-actualize through the path of opening our heart. So this podcast has been designed for you to peel back the layers and discover who you get to be as an open-hearted human in this lifetime. I will be sharing with you heart-expanding and mind-bending tools and concepts for you to create deeper and more fulfilling conscious relationships with yourself and with the world around you. So with that said, open your heart, turn the volume up, and let's go deeper. Welcome back to another episode of the Deeper Please podcast. My name is Eliza and I'm your host, and today we have a very, very special episode. As today we're going to talk about how to love the feminine, how to love a feminine woman or a feminine being. This feels really special for two things. One, because as you may already know, we are honoring the feminine in this whole first season of the podcast. And the second reason why it feels super special is because I recently extended my coaching practice to men. It's been a very beautiful journey to realize that my entire journey and my entire history has prepared me to guide men. So this episode is basically a gift for both the feminine and the masculine. You know, in my world, we deeply love men, we deeply honor the masculine, and this is like the cheat codes for the conscious men out there who want to learn how to show up better for the feminine, who want to know how to love the feminine in a deeper and more conscious and sacred way. The feminine beings listening to me right now, you really want to send this episode to your man, to the men in your life. Let's remember that we are all about divine union here. This entire body of work is all about ending the separation between the feminine and the masculine. So what I want to begin with is I get that sometimes trying to understand the feminine might feel complex. Here is the thing, this is a part of my journey that you may or may not know, but I have been in a same-sex relationship. That experience really allowed me to understand men and masculine beings at a deeper level. Even though I'm a feminine cored being, in that relationship I had a lot of opportunity to be the masculine pole. Half of the relationship I had the blessing and opportunity to be basically the stronger masculine pole, meaning I was the breadwinner and I was the major provider of emotional safety and as well as physical and financial safety. So this experience really allowed me to see men deeper, to know what it's like to have that responsibility and doing it from a place of service. So I get you. I see you. So here's the thing. The feminine being is very multifaceted. It's not just black and white or just one-sided. The feminine is very, very multidimensional. So that's why I get it, it might feel sometimes complex. But here is the thing. Feminine beings are not to be understood. They are to be loved. I think that the less you try to understand them in a sense that you want to conceptualize and make sense and logic of everything in the feminine, the easier it will be for you to hold her. Something that I have experienced in relationships with male partners is that sometimes the masculine wants to make sense of things. I get it, it's your nature. The masculine is very led through logic and the head. There is nothing wrong with that. That's nature of the masculine. And that's why it's so important for masculine beings to also do the work to connect with their heart. So it all comes in harmony. But that's a different conversation. But my point with this is that sometimes the feminine will come to you with a lot of emotion and a lot of layers that it might be hard for you to put into logic to make sense of things. I've been in relationships where I'm coming with this emotion and expression, and then my male partner is trying to give me solutions, is trying to coach me to make sense of things, is trying to fix the situation. And a lot of the times, we will want you to fix the situation or to help us with solution, but more often than not, what we really want is to be held, is to be witnessed. Now, this doesn't mean that we women get to come to our man and just like vomit all the unprocessed emotion and be like, now you hold this and you have to hold me because you're the masculine. It doesn't mean that, right? Something that I teach a lot in my containers and that I really advocate for is self-responsibility. So I teach my women to process their own emotions so they go through this like filter within themselves. They know how to hold themselves, and then they can bring things to the male partner. So when I say the feminine brings the emotion, it's not permission for women to bring unresolved emotion that is going to cause projection or that is going to cause any kind of blaming. So, in a nutshell, to close with this point, the feminine doesn't always want to be fixed or solved. The feminine wants to be held, wants to be witnessed. And now for us women out there listening to this, when you bring something to your man and you just want to be witnessed and held, say it, express it. And say, I just want you to hold me. I just want you to witness me in this. And if you want solutions, say it as well. If there is something that I've learned in all my relationship experience, is that men are not mind readers. And that the more we express what we want, the easier we make it for our men to love us. And that's why we are here, and that's exactly why I created this episode particularly. So the next point that I want to bring is hold space for her to be all of herself. Here is a beautiful quote that has been very activated in my relationship. So my partner, Joel, is amazing at embracing all parts of myself. The very first time he had a taste of my inner child, which he calls baby girl, he really invited her to come out even more. He laughs when I crack jokes from this part of myself. He celebrates this part of me. He holds me, and he started calling me baby girl. Then when he saw for the first time the primal slut in me, he said, bring it on. And he celebrated that part of me. And that's one of the archetypes that I love the most playing in my relationship. Obviously, it's so sexy. And I feel very celebrated in that. The first time he saw the wise woman in me, he sees the wise woman. He calls it even the elder woman in me, because he can see that old ancient wisdom. And he also celebrates this dark goddess in me. When he sees the darkness in me, he doesn't get scared. He says, like, bring it on, you know? So my point with this is that because my man celebrates all of these archetypes, I feel so free to bring them out in my relationship. And each one of the archetypes in me brings gifts to the relationship. It's so beautiful. Now, the caveat for the women out there is that it's not your man's responsibility to bring out those archetypes in you. Now in my relationship, we have such a full spectrum and range to play with all these different archetypes from me and from him, because we both have done the individual work that it requires to embrace all sides of ourselves. For a long time, I've been working on embracing the sacred whore in me, embracing the wise woman, the witch, the baby girl, or the inner child. So now in a relationship, I have that safety within myself to be all of me. And my man has really complemented that safety or enhanced that safety by celebrating all of me. So, beautiful men out there, if you want to see the whore in her, celebrate the whore in her as much as you celebrate the wise woman in her, and the boss babe, and the mother, and the inner child. Celebrate all parts of her. This underlying sense of safety is so delicious, and it will bring so many gifts to the relationship. So, next point. Something that a woman really wants to know about a man, about her man, is that he's got her. There is nothing more delicious and sexier than a man that says, I got you. A man that says, I'm here. I got you, babe. So that natural instinct to provide and protect, bring it on. We want that. And I think that one of the most important pieces to work on around this is that men are sometimes scared of being taken advantage of. And I get it, because the wounded feminine sometimes acts entitled. So there is a wound in the masculine. But here is the thing. The beautiful work of union is recognizing that this natural instinct to provide and protect for the feminine and for your family is sacred. And a feminine embodied woman that has done the work to heal her feminine, she will value that as gold. She knows what she has to bring to the table, what she has to offer. And that is when union actually happens, when there is this beautiful collaboration. So this sense of I got you comes in the form of not only financial providership, but also how do you hold her when she brings the emotions and the vulnerability in her heart? How do you show her that you are there, solid, even when she's bringing the heavy layers of her emotions? And you don't have the urge to always fix her or to always try to make sense of her. That is when she will feel safe and secure and provided for. The next point is offer your leadership and structures. So this is a very beautiful thing that men can bring to the relationship and that allows the feminine to relax. I know that you as the masculine, you want her relaxed. You want her nice and soft because that's the natural state of the feminine. And you can provide these structures and leadership that allow her to relax more. The less decisions the feminine has to make, the more relaxed she will be. And this doesn't mean that you have to take care of her as if she was a powerless, defenseless child. It's not that energy. The energy is that the feminine thrives and brings out so much of her gifts of radiance and intuition and that type of wisdom that really doesn't come from the head but from the body and the heart when she's relaxed, when she's in that you feel me? In that state of I'm safe and I'm taken care of and I don't have to be thinking about every single thing here. I don't have to be planning date night. I don't have to be thinking about what time we have to leave for the next thing that we have to do. If you as the masculine provider can bring that leadership and that structure of let me take you out for dinner, I'll pick you up on Friday at 8 p.m., wear a beautiful dress and high heels. You're giving her all the instructions and she's just like, oh, yummy, yes. And that's how she feels held. She feels relaxed. And that's how she brings out that radiance and relaxation and playfulness that you love so much. The next point that I want to share is read in between the lines. Now, I'm going to begin with the caveat. This is not permission for women to be like, you should know what I want. You should know how to make me happy. No, because I definitely used to be like that. I used to say that if you're my partner, you should know how to make me happy. You should know what I want. You should know. No, it's not in that energy. I really don't want to bring that. But here is the thing. The feminine is so complex that in a certain parts of our cycle, for example, we don't even know what we want. And that is our nature. It doesn't mean anything, but it just is. So if you as the man can be present enough to know when your woman is saying, no, it's okay, I don't need anything, but she actually would love to get a cozy blanket and a chocolate because she's in her period, that will do so much for her. The things that she doesn't have to ask for and she gets because you are so present, those details are priceless. And again, as a woman, I'm not afraid to say, baby, today I'm not feeling well. Would you take care of me, please? Can I get some chocolate? Can I get that cozy blanket? I just want to watch TV today. Yeah, you say it, ladies. It's not about like, you should know. But if you men can read in between the lines, you know your woman, and you know she doesn't even know yet what she wants, but you can read that. That is very beautiful. Not because it's your responsibility to read her mind, but just because you're so present, you can tell. All right. The next one is attune to her cycle. Oh my gosh. This is a game changer because a lot of men out there don't have an idea of the differences in each part of the cycle of a woman. Men sometimes think that because they don't have a cycle in their body, they don't have a menstruation, they don't have a follicular phase and a ovulation phase and a luteal phase, they shouldn't know anything about this. But actually, if you take the time to educate yourself about this, it will make all the difference in your relationship. If you can mark your calendars and know when she's coming into luteal phase, when she's getting closer to her period and her energy levels drop and her moods start to swing a little harder. If you can have that present and in consideration for the things that you plan for the two of you, for the things that are needed in the house, even to plan intimacy, to plan sex, like the level of sexual appetite that we have can fluctuate a lot according to the stage of our cycle. So if you can plan in consideration to the stage of her cycle, that will be a big game changer. Now, the last point before we go into a few questions that I got on my Instagram from beautiful conscious men is take note of what matters to her. It's the little details that matter the most. When I come home and I find in the kitchen food and a little post-it note that says, "Enjoy, I love you," from my man, that is the kind of thing that I take with me in my heart for the rest of my day and beyond. The little things, him planning our intimacy date. We have a special weekly intimacy date that we go the extra mile to plan, and every single time that is his turn to plan it, and the details and the creativity that he puts into that is the kind of thing that really stays in my heart and that makes me feel more connected to him, because he pays attention to the details. He takes note in the conversations, in the things I say. It's very beautiful. It's very beautiful to know that your man is that present and that willing to make you happy. It makes you want to reciprocate that automatically. So with that said, now we're gonna go into a few questions I asked on my stories, and I chose these 3 questions to answer them here. So, what are non-negotiables for a feminine woman? And I love this because, ladies out there, can you see there are beautiful conscious men out there that really want to know what is it that we want? There are men out there trying to manifest a conscious woman like you. My single ladies out there, this is a reminder for you. So what are non-negotiables for a feminine woman? A woman who owns all of herself has gone through a journey of loving all of herself, accepting all of herself. So she requires the same. She wants that acceptance and that love because she has learned to give it to herself. A feminine woman will not settle for your weak masculinity, for you showing up half-assed or with like wishy-washy energy. She wants all of you as a masculine. And this doesn't mean that you have to be always strong and always perfect. But this is about you owning your masculinity, owning your strength, owning your heart, owning that essence of you. When you connect your strong mind with your heart and with your sex, your sexual energy, that's what she wants. A feminine woman will not settle for the version of you that is still in that nice guy energy or that little boy energy. The feminine woman wants you in your masculinity, in your firm love. This looks like you holding structure for her, for the relationship, you being able to lead, you honoring your yes and your no, you showing up from your heart with firm love. The masculine, when he shows up from his heart and is strong like the mountain, that's what attracts the softness of the feminine. That's what evokes that relaxation and playfulness and light energy in the feminine. Next question is, how to best communicate with her during conflict? This is such a great question, right? This is the main thing. Communicate with her with firm love. What does this mean? You bring that firm, strong structure, like here is what's happening, here is the facts, and here is what we're gonna do. You lead and hold space for her. She needs to feel your strength, but also coming from love. Something really important in times of conflict, you don't hold back affection or love when you are triggered. Because a lot of the times when we are triggered, we let ourselves be swung by the emotions and we withhold affection. This is something that really changed the game for me in the way I navigate conflict. That no matter how triggered we are, no matter how angry or disappointed we are, we don't hold back affection and love. And if in the moment the emotion is too strong and you need to take a moment, from a grounded place you say, I need 5 minutes. I still love you. I'm coming back. But not because you have a strong emotion running through you, you're going to pretend that you don't love the person or that you are running away. If you can navigate conflict and triggers and still show that you love the person and that you're not going anywhere, that is foundational piece to keep the safety and the groundedness. No matter how triggered you are, you're not going anywhere. You might need 5 or 10 minutes, but the relationship is not at risk. And the last question, how to best show her that she's protected and provided for, so she's relaxed. So here is the thing, actions matter. You can say all that you want, but when your actions follow your words, that is the main thing. Providership can be something from picking up the bill at dinner to helping her build her new desk from IKEA. Providership means at a physical level, and it also involves emotional levels. So show her that she's protected, not by trying to control her or telling her what to do all of the time, unless that's your agreement, but show her that you care. Show her that you are there for her. And sometimes I find that men don't want to be too overpowering and they're scared of sounding or feeling too controlling or manipulative. But actually, when you can show her that behind your actions and the things that you say and do, there is a good heart-centered intention, that is what matters. And the woman that is right for you will appreciate that, as long as your intentions are pure and clear and heart-centered. Okay, this feels so good for now. We will for sure have so many more conversations for men, and let me know what you think. Women out there, remember to send this to the men in your lives. And men out there, let me know how you found this episode. I would love to hear from you. Screenshot this episode and tag me. Share it with your male friends if this was helpful. I love you all. See you next time. Bye bye. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Deeper Please podcast. Don't forget to check the show notes for ways to go even deeper. Remember to share this episode with someone you love, and if you feel like sharing with me how this podcast is impacting your life and relationships, feel free to slide into my inbox at I am Eliza on Instagram. Stay open, stay wild, and see you next time.